Skaboop. There it is. Oh, man.
Skaboop indeed.
It is
The story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. Why she looks so sad in photographs. I absolutely love her.
when she smiles.
Hey!
I want to let this be known right now. That was the most Caucasian thing you've ever done in your life.
Listen, I got some Caucasian shit in the tank, all right? Whenever
Yeah,
we
know.
need to pull it out.
Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys shit you were doing and whatnot, you know. They were playing Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. I can't remember which one it was. In Wawa today when I stopped before I came. What song was it? I can't even remember shit. I was gonna bring it up too and be like, "Ooh, this song." What the fuck song was it? Oh, I know. It was like
going on with my
no
mic.
matter where you from.
That's Backstreet, yeah, Backstreet Boys.
No,
As long as you love me.
Who you are. That one.
Where you're from,
Yeah.
what you did, as long as you... Was it, I think it was Kevin Hart stand-up? Like, if you want to be like a singer or a boy band, all you got to do is point, open, and close your hands.
That's the thumbnail right there. I remember to do that. I don't do thumbnails often for the Patreon podcast because it's like, it's not on YouTube and the thumbnail doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, you don't need a thumbnail.
But maybe I'll do it for that one just for funsies. But we're fucking back.
We are, surprisingly, right?
All it took was us both requesting off work.
All it took was everything.
Yeah.
It took was a lot.
I'm a little hungover at the moment because there was a little thing that happened last night by the name of the Super Bowl.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah. Sadly, Philadelphia has lost its third championship within the past 3 months. After getting into the championships, we lost soccer,
Okay.
baseball, and now football. So that's a thing.
We're good at getting there. Getting to
It's
the
just
goal.
finishing the job.
Yeah,
problem,
we're
you know?
great at getting to the finish line.
Yeah, that's edging for you. Philly's just waiting for like next year, and it's just gonna be like "Ugh," every single championship. You know?
We're great at being second place.
That makes sense though, with the stupid shit that we do as a city. I like how I say we as well when I'm literally not from Philly. I'm Philly adjacent.
No, you count. You count.
It's funny because like I've been talking to someone recently, and like she lives in New York City,
Right.
and like you know she's taking like trains and cabs, and like it's a fucking city and it's big.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, we have like a Target, and maybe like one of the malls is turning into a parking lot for Sesame Place. There's a cool Chipotle.
Right. So how about you? That's
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Like I got nothing. Like she's like, oh yeah, this ice skating rink that I go to, and I'm like, we had a bowling alley burn down.
All of the good stuff is destroyed.
Like what do you want? Like, I don't really do much, but so luckily I am still somehow found interesting after all of the shitty hometown stuff. But
It's about who you are.
where you're from, not where you're from, not where you're from.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
What
that worked out really well.
It did. I didn't even mean to go there.
But yeah, man, it's been a time. So let's do some life update bullshit because we have kind of skimped on that on the podcast, just because.
I don't feel like we have. I feel like
last one we like slightly were like we just need to get everything out because we had the regular one and then the news one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
True.
The life updates were like I was building furniture, and then I'm like I'm existing. So,
True. Since then though, it hasn't really. It's just been more of the normal. Like
all right.
Brendan being Brendan.
He looks completely different now in the pictures you sent me, and it's crazy.
It's happening very quickly and slowly at the same time. It's a weird thing. Like it's like I feel like this is gonna just become a segment, like the kid segment with Ed.
Yeah. Kid mode.
Kid mode. That's the name of the segment. You gotta find that
Full circle.
Exactly. You gotta find that sound clip.
Oh yeah, I'll just get every single one and change it for each episode.
Kid mode.
Kid mode.
What's the rhino one?
Kid mode. Yeah, it's that. But it's weird to have like Trenton, who's 7 now, and
Recently 7.
yes,
Happy birthday. Late. I mean, I said it to him in stream, but
yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
But and now having a baby, because like I remember, because I look at him still like, well, you were the baby, and now there's a baby, so it immediately makes him look way older.
Yeah.
So
when's his first job?
I don't know. It need to be tomorrow. He need to work nights. He need to come home from school and go to work.
Yeah.
But it's just been a wild ride. We're still awake a lot.
Yeah.
When you sent me that message you sent me a message at what, 2 a.m. or something like that? Snap?
Maybe.
I know the thing said 2 a.m. thoughts or something like that.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
But I think I had just laid down.
Damn.
Like I finished watching Super Bowl. I did a bunch of shit in the crib I had to get done, like clean up the kitchen, take the trash out, all house shit. And then
house shit.
And then gave Brendan a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, he went down because he just got his flu shot, right? And he's a baby, so immediately sick. Immediately, it was like flipping a switch.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it happens, like in the early stages, right? Because it's like you're introducing the body to it in the first place with the vaccines and shit. So
it sucks.
It has no fucking idea what to do. It's just like shit.
Yeah,
secrete everywhere.
So it sucks because he's just like he's 80% snot, 20% baby. So it's he can't. He doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So he's like so like when you're trying to put him to sleep, he can't really breathe well because he's congested. So it just wakes him up because he's irritated but don't know why. So then if there's snot coming down, then he's all doing this. So now it's all over his face. So now it's just like you're waking up, you're mad. He's not going to sleep because he's irritated, but crying is also inducing more snot. So it's just this vicious cycle. So I'm just wiping his nose.
Yeah.
They gave him this little baby infant nose drops. It kind of clears it up.
Nice.
But that's been my last couple of days.
Damn.
I've been off since Thursday. I feel like I haven't taken a day off at all.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you had like one day where you were like, I'm feeling good, but I feel bad that you didn't get like one at least where
There was no
relaxed.
day where I was just chilling.
Damn. You got to get one.
This is the first time I've been down here.
Well, we're
besides editing the
technically
podcast.
chilling. Technically, kind of, but not really.
Mm.
We'll keep the mental gymnastics at an all-time low this time.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk politics this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Or J.K. Rowling and her cunt ass.
But but needless to say, I say all of that to say, like, as annoying as it may seem, it's all like, this is just part of the process. Yeah. I've also been here before, obviously.
It's not like you're not going to do all this stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, it may sound like, oh, fuck that. But it's more so like, it's not really, because everything becomes normalized once you're doing it all the time.
New normals.
Yeah, so it's just whatever. Let's just do the shit. That's the end of kid mode. I don't want to, because I could talk kid mode forever. But anyway.
Hey man, we got a podcast. We need content, yo.
Nah, this isn't the show for that. We got to talk about our shit. What about you?
I haven't been doing much. As I've been saving some money as of late because I'm in the process of looking for new housing. If y'all don't know, I sadly still live with the rents for the moment, just because my student loans are kind of like
it's not terrible,
constantly giving me a colonoscopy.
Right.
And I'm pretty much paying a mortgage with how much a month I have to pay the student loans, which sucks ass because I'm not making enough money to pay a mortgage and then also rent a spot so that I'm not living with them.
And you ain't the only one, man. It's hard out here right now for everybody.
100%. I still pay my parents like a monthly thing to be like, here.
Chipping in.
Yeah. And like it's
so they can buy all those spices.
Not use them. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, I just need to get the fuck out. And
right.
I've had a couple opportunities or like situations that have come up that one of them kind of fell through. I had the opportunity to maybe move out in May, and that probably isn't happening anymore. And then I have another one that's not like necessarily like a exact date situation, but it's one of those like I don't want to say guaranteed because I don't want to like jinx anything or make anything bad happen, but it's one of those things where it's like when what happens, then I have a spot. And I feel like it's the situation that it's in, it feels like I'm like the first in line type thing.
Were there other people?
I don't know, but it feels like in the situation where I'm like, it feels very much like I'm a first in line person.
Okay.
At least to get the iPhone,
Got it.
Get the new iPhone and whatnot.
The iRoom.
So that's nice that I at least have that there even without like a specific date or a timeline on when that would happen. It's at least nice to know that it would happen at some point in theory. So that's comforting to say the least, because after the first one fell through, I was like super depressed that night. I was like,
I remember that was the night we were like, we're not doing a podcast.
That was that night. Yeah, we literally we played what's it called, Nidhogg instead, because I was just like, I am in a bad fucking mood today. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong.
It was fine because at that point, I think I was just like I wasn't able to I'm never able to record till like 10 at night.
Oh yeah,
I was tired of shit. Worked all day. I think it just got to a point where I think I just looked at you and was like, what if we just didn't do it?
Yeah, and I kind of sat there for a second. I'm like, but we're so I'm like, does the consistency fucking matter really? Because like, keeping it candid with y'all, the podcast itself isn't really what's getting us the views and the subscribers at the moment. It's more so like the gameplay videos, they do decently well. I mean, they should definitely be shorter, and I need to edit them shorter just so it's like short, sweet, easy. And then like the YouTube shorts, like that's like our two things that are like driving people to our page right now. And the YouTube shorts are just like Twitch clips from us playing games, which isn't what the channel really is. In theory.
Right.
So that's not like conducive to having people be like, wow, that was a really funny Overwatch 2 clip. I'm going to watch this 2-hour podcast now,
True.
So kind of like trying to rework the way that we're doing stuff a little bit. And
it's another reason we got together today.
Yeah. We definitely need to rework what we're posting on TikTok, I think. Like, we'll still post like, Twitch clips and shit, but like, I think we just need to be blasting clips out to the point where it's like, there's like 10 a fucking day. Because it has nothing to do with the quality of the clips as of this point.
Right.
It needs to just be like, there's so many out there that are of a quality that is good enough to be out there that at least one of them is going to grab 10 people here, 10 people there, and then another one's going to grab 5 to 10 people there. And
that's why we already started it, but I think it's becoming more and more important that we take segments from the show or topics, pieces of the topics we talk about, and put them out as multiple clips of different topics, because like you said, no one's probably going to click. Most people aren't going to click and sit through 2+ hours of a show that they're not like fully invested in, or people they're not fully invested in, but they'll click that 5-minute clip of this specific topic and be like, all right, I like these guys.
I'm definitely thinking, like, I don't want to say we're copying, but I think we're going to move more in the sense of, like, what Haptic Intel does, probably, when it comes to, like, the podcast, where we'll release the full video and all that jazz on Friday, and then throughout the next week, it'll be, like, segment, like, 5 to 10 minute clips from the podcast. That's like, kind of... The podcast is out if you want to go see the full episode. Yeah. Here's a clip from it.
That's normal, though, at this point. I think everyone does that. Even with just YouTube-specific shows, 100%. They just take pieces from it. Yeah. Like podcasts I listen to, I'll go on their page and it's just clips from the show. Like their thoughts on this, their thoughts on that, their 100%. Thoughts on that. But you could also watch the entire show right here.
The thing that sucks with like shorts though is that you have a 1-minute limit. And like the way that we talk about shit, like our thoughts aren't out in 1 minute, because no offense to some of the people that post the 1-minute clips from podcasts and stuff, our thoughts aren't as simple as 1 minute when it comes to that type of shit. Like, we both have an equal amount of shit to say that's maybe 5 minutes each most times, unless we're just both like, we entirely agree the exact same on this. Then it's like, okay, maybe it's 2 minutes, but still too much.
I think that either comes down to, like, editing it super tight. It would be super tight edit. Like, this is the topic. It doesn't flow as well. Yeah. But I think some things are just shorts and some things aren't. We might have to just really just put out clips. And here's a clip, shorts, here's a shorts.
We can just do like the 15-second ones, because those are the ones that really pop off for us on YouTube, at least. When it's like a 15-second clip of just random bullshit, or shorter. So like just like you saying something like quick and then me responding to it and just post that. Like that's it. Like boop boop, that's it. Out in and out, and then there's so many of them that at least one of them's gonna show up on someone's page when they're scrolling. And that's I think how we're gonna start moving forward very, very soon. Probably not this week, I don't know, because I still need to edit the second Resident Evil video and get that out for you guys. But I don't know if we're playing that either. We technically will need to play that soon.
We'll have to play something today.
So maybe we'll do something today.
Yeah, we have to play something.
But
today.
other than all the podcast stuff, I have been talking to someone, which has been very nice.
Nice.
And, it was a funny situation that happened. I think it was last week where I was thinking like, okay, this coming week is Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic when it comes to like when I'm into someone, you know what I mean? Like
same.
I will go out of my way to like, you know, get flowers and the child. I'll do that. The thing is,
me too.
I don't know where she lives specifically because she lives in New York. She's told me like the area, but the thing is like I'm not gonna be like, what's your specific address? So I can send you flowers, you know, because that's just a weird thing, especially since we haven't met in person yet. For me,
Yeah,
I don't want to overstep or be too forward about the situation.
Listen, you just go to that area and you just knock on every door and you just
like
till she answers.
She does work from home, so in theory,
She's
I get
home.
there eventually.
Yeah,
but in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a service out there that I can buy flowers if I don't know what the person's address is. And in my brain, I'm thinking of this from a point of view of like this is a nice gesture. But then I start realizing maybe that's not a great thing, because if you think about it, if you can just send flowers to whoever you want or something with like a message or some shit, that's going to cause a lot of shit, you know? Like some home wreckers or some shit like that.
got it.
So I'm like, but I Google it. I'm like, how do you send flowers to someone that you do not know the address of? And I read that back and I'm like,
Creepy.
I'm on a list somewhere now.
Like, well, we got him.
Like, I had good intentions, but, like, the way I Googled it, I'm like, oh, that's not how you do that.
When they're dragging you out of your house in handcuffs, you can't be like, I had good intentions.
Yeah, like, that's not how
Yeah, they all do, pal. Throw you in the
So,
back.
last night, during the Super Bowl, I had a full bottle of wine by myself and a half an edible.
Beautiful.
And we were Snapchatting a bit, because that's, like, kind of how we communicate as of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because we're both very long-winded with our stories. Like, we'll just, like, keep going unless you tell us to stop. And fucking... I do this thing where I take notes on, like, a Google tab, like, just at the top search bar. Like, I'll
Just
be
so
like...
you know what's happening in the conversation.
Just so I know, like...
The talking points.
Like, I give a shit about what she's saying, so I want to make sure that I hit everything and I don't forget something that might have meant something...
To her.
Yeah. So, like, I'm just making sure... Plus, I'm also drunk and high. So, I'm like, this
Easy-
is an
easy to
additional
forget.
help for me.
Right.
So that's what I do, personally. It'll be very interesting to see how that translates once we become in person at some point. But I was drunk and high, so I was just like, you know what? She had told me some sort of situation about a past relationship and ending towards Valentine's Day. So I was like, oh, Valentine's Day is this week. I'm going to bring up and tell her the funny story about the flower situation.
Right.
I told you it, and I told Ryan it. And
About
Ryan,
when I was put on a list.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And I was like joking about it, and she like texted me, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so fucking thoughtful that you wanted to get me flowers and shit." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I know we're not like a thing, but like, who doesn't want? Like, I would like to get flowers. I've never gotten flowers before,
I don't think I've ever gotten flowers.
but like that'd be dope.
Specifically, but I wouldn't be. I would appreciate it.
If you got flowers, I feel like that. As a dude, we're like expected to do the things for Valentine's Day when you're in a, you know, a hetero relationship nowadays. Like it's pretty much expected. But getting, I feel like I'd end up like shedding like the single fucking tear if I got flowers for Valentine's Day from someone that like I was interested in. I'd be like, oh fuck, man, like I was supposed to do that. Damn, dude.
If I got flowers, the next pod we did, I would just put like 2 flowers like
Oh
in
yeah,
my
100%. Make a little fucking headdress like Hereditary or some shit.
I'm doing the whole show like this.
Oh yeah. But I sent her that snap and like she was like, oh, that's so thoughtful. And it was good that I told her that, because after that she's like, it might be a good thing that you didn't try to get me flowers though, because my cat that I have and my roommate's cat are both allergic to real flowers. So I'm like, oh shit. now I have knowledge for the future so that when I do end up having the ability to get you flowers, they gonna be plastic as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And last forever.
Or the Lego flowers.
That too. But those are too expensive.
Yeah, those are pretty.
So I will settle for different plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then I was drunk and high last night, and I came up with that idea at 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, what if I fucking draw her a flower for Valentine's Day? And
That's even more effort.
I was like, this is like, because it's one of those things where it's like it's super easy as well. Like, not easy to draw, but you know what I mean. For me, like I can draw a flower in like 20 minutes, but if I put some effort into it, holy shit, that gonna be a nice flower. And then after that, I don't have to find her fucking address.
True.
Or use snap maps and like zoom in as fucking close as possible to get the closest address. I just fucking text her.
Find the Google Street View of wherever she's standing physically. You just see her standing out.
There you go, bud. And
Take
that's
this.
phenomenal in my mind. So I haven't done it yet, and this will most likely come out after the fact. I don't think she's not a part of the Patreon, so it doesn't matter in the first place. But you know,
so I was on your Patreon.
One day she drops a $5 bill to listen to all the bullshit we talk about.
Man, she might get to this episode and be like, I don't think I like those guys anymore.
I don't know, man. Listen, the way that I look at it is like, if I'm interested in you, I'm going all out.
Yeah.
Because like, that was one of the things we were talking about too yesterday. Was like, she was saying like she's had some shitty relationships and whatnot, and I was like, I can relate, obviously, because you know, past situations. And I've been working on myself more than anything else after the past relationship that I had recently gotten out of. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, I'm not perfect, but
nobody
I'm
is
able to work on myself at the same time with another person and also help them work on themselves, and like they help me work on myself.
Right.
More like a partnership now. Like I'm comfortable doing that. And she's like, I'm still cautious. I'm like, oh, I'm cautious too, dude. Like,
you gotta be.
1,000%.
Everybody has to be out here.
It was funny because she told me one story about a guy she met on like a dating app. She was like talking to him, and he wanted to like meet her at a park at like 10 o'clock at night.
That's so fucking that's creepier than you trying to get her address to send your flowers.
And like the way she's telling the story, I'm very much like, I'm creeped out by this, because if anyone told me to do that, no matter if it be girl, guy, whatever, in between, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to wake up in a bathtub with my fucking spleen taken out. Well, I've played Cyberpunk 2 or 3 times, so
that lets me know all I need to know.
So it was very much funny because she's like, yeah, so like I'm very cautious still, because like that's like, and he wouldn't take no for an answer, and I'm like, well, as long as you didn't go. And she's like, yeah, I didn't. I'm like, cool. Also, I'm not going to a park with you at 10 o'clock at night, just so we get that out of the way.
Hell no.
And I said that to her. I'm like, not to like joke too much, but if you ask me to go to a park, we ain't doing that.
No.
So
no.
That's the thing.
Why would we?
Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, needless to say, I'm still cautious, but I'm at the point where I'm like, this is a good thing, and I'm gonna dive headfirst for it and see if
you're more confident in
a pool of water that's deep enough for the dive, or
for
concrete.
a puddle with immediate concrete.
Yeah, just like
just wet ground.
I very much do think that it is a metaphorically deep pool.
Word.
I'm a poet, dude.
You are, and you didn't even know it.
Sometimes it happens,
but I'm appreciate the fact that you show it.
I don't know if there's anything else after that.
If there's high grass, you could mow it. And then you would lower it. No, never mind. I lost it.
Hey, you got it back there. Lost it.
That doesn't rhyme with mow
Well,
it.
you got it there.
It was there. I just added an extra to the
keep
low.
rhyming it with it.
Nah. That's not good. That's not clever. That's not talent.
There are people that go in rap songs nowadays.
You're right.
Rhyming it.
And they're making a ton of money.
Yeah. I feel like you'd be fine if that, like, also that'd be hilarious as a gimmick as a rapper if you exclusively rap the same word at the end of every sentence.
Cat. Cat. Yo, you heard cat?
Yeah.
Shit is flames, dog. You heard that cat?
Honestly, though, that'd be kind of a fun gimmick, though, if you think about it. Like, you wouldn't be, like, a legitimate, like, rapper, but, like, it'd be kind of like, you know, that'd be a good, like, meme for a bit.
First off, that would completely depreciate the Ant Bars segment if I started doing that.
The way you do it, though, is you release an album where all of the songs are just like you rhyme the same word at the end, and then there's one song that's legitimate at the end. Because then you make a t-shirt for every single fucking song, and it's all just the word that rhymes like cat, cat, cat.
It got to be in the middle, the legit song. It can't be at the end because, like, if it was me listening to it, by song 3, I'm like, all right, fuck, this is fucking garbage. I'm not even going to make it to the end.
Listen, man, you just got to have a good beat. That's all you need.
It has to be track, like, 2. Because you start out doing your regular shit, then you get to 2, and people are like, oh, wait. This is dope.
Okay.
Then you get to 3 and it's the same again, but now you think that there's going to be better songs going forward.
Keep going. And
it never comes back up again.
Trick them into streaming your music.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it, man. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, that's about how good my life's been going. I mean, it's not bad, but I'm definitely, in a place where I'm like...
It's okay to say it's good, man.
It's going... I don't think it's good yet. I don't think life is good, especially because the world is shit right now.
Well, yeah, outside of that, that's always going to be true.
I think I'm on the hypotenuse of an upward scale of stocks.
Stonks.
Yeah, my stonks are rising currently, and it feels nice for the first time in a while, because for a while it was kind of just like stagnant, and then like every once in a while it'll be like, fuck you, and go back to like the stagnant again.
There was never like a high one and came down? There had to be a point where it was like, oh, this is fantastic, and then at least came back to stagnant. There can't be not one moment. Even if it wasn't something like
I don't
groundbreaking.
think it was like amazing, but I think it was much shorter of a...
Okay.
Like, here's the thing, like, I still have good moments, but I don't think they're like life-altering.
Okay, all right.
But my bad moments, when they do happen, feel life-altering. You know what I mean?
When they do happen, we don't do the show.
Yeah, exactly. When the bad moments happen, I'm just like, okay, I'm in this fucking hole.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit in it, and that's too damn bad. So, if you get that, thank you.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I tossed in the Discord for y'all to shoot us messages and shit. So let me check that, because I think y'all have been popping off a bit.
A B-I-It.
B-I-It. The screen is not turned back on after I did the little movie thingy. There we go. We're still recording. Awesome. But the first thing that we were told to talk about is the holding call during yesterday's game. So I'm going to keep it a stack. I was there for the Rihanna concert. And I don't know at all what happened in the game, like factually.
I watched that game from beginning to end, and Adrian looked at me around the third quarter and said, I don't know who you are anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, because Trenton was into it, because, his school has all like the spirit stuff, so they've been all Eagles out.
And bullshit.
Yeah. So he's like, can we watch the Eagles? We talk about the Eagles? I'm like, yeah, we can watch it. So I turned it on. And I'm explaining the game to him. I'm like, this is happening because of this. Fourth down, they're either going to go for the kick or they're going to, go for they're going to go for it or turn it over, et cetera. I'm giving him the rundown.
Yeah.
And that alone, Adrian was just like,
who the fuck are you?
Like, what are you talking about? I was like, all right, first of all, like, just because I'm not an avid sports watcher doesn't mean I don't know how it's played.
You played a Madden before.
Not even that. I just know how it works. So I'm explaining it all to him. And then, of course, I'm invested because I Eagles.
Yeah, it's Philly.
It's my city. Let's do this. So I'm into it. I'm like, plays are happening. I'm standing up like, yes, let's go. And she's like, what? She was like, no. We're like sitting in bed, and at one point she just turns over like, nope, I can't look at you.
So needless to say, me coming over today was the nice refresher to bring you back to who you actually were with gaming and bullshit.
Like, she wasn't mad at it. She just was like, who are you? I have to get to know you all over again.
Goddamn.
And I'm all like, man, no, they lost possession and they got to get it. She was like, they did the what? She was like, I know what that means. What are you the fuck saying?
Goddamn. That's hilarious.
So I'm going through all of that, and the halftime happens, and then
damn, that was a good show. We're gonna talk about it on the main podcast,
yeah,
for a specific reason, but we won't say it now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You
say
probably
it right now.
know. Exactly
yeah, the jokes are out there.
Yeah,
but it gets to the point. I think like third, fourth quarter happens, and I I think I had to go. I was like, all right, let me go take a shower. Like, I've just been sitting there. Like all the kids are washed up. Well, both kids are washed up.
Yeah.
Some first listener's going to be like, how many kids does he have?
Washed up kids.
Yeah, right. So getting the house together, putting Trenton kind of like to bed and everything. I was like, all right, let me go take a shower. Yeah. And I turned it on, the Super Bowl on my phone. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching it as I go in like to the bathroom and everything. And I'm kind of setting it up while I'm like shaving my head. I'm just like watching the game.
Jesus Christ.
And she's just yelling like, what the fuck are you doing? Who are you? Are you in there watching football right now? Turn on a podcast.
Who are you?
Right. So I'm watching that. And it gets to that point. It gets to the holding thing. Mm-hmm. And it was the most... Now, obviously people are... I know how the game is played. I know the calls and everything, but I'm not like a professional in all the sports.
You're not a referee. You're not a zebra.
Yeah. And I'm also not, I don't watch it often enough to really have a say. Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody could explain it better than me, obviously. But that call was some bullshit.
Okay.
I don't. Not that maybe they still would have lost, who knows, but they would have had a damn good chance to turn the shit around if that call wasn't made.
The funniest part to me was we were playing Overwatch at the time, and I remember it was like the last play, like, and they like went down on their knee or some shit that the Chiefs did, and then the fucking coach was like foaming at the mouth next to the ref, like waiting for the time to go down.
Andy Reid.
Timeout, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is such a bitch way to win.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. Like, you want to win the game. Like, I understand.
But that's everybody's argument.
To win.
That's everybody's argument. Everybody, even people who don't have like a dog in this fight, are like, that's a bullshit way for this game to end.
Yeah.
This good, like, that's a bullshit way for it to go off.
It was very close score wise. So like that was one of those things where I was like, at least it was a good game. You know, like if it was a shitty game and that's how it ended, holy shit, fuck that bullshit. But the fact that it was a good game and then they ended it that way, I was like, that's kind of fucking dumb to me. At least because I'm like, y'all are winning. You can run at least 2 plays. You're not gonna like, and if you fumble it, then you fumble it. Like what? Like I don't. It's a fucking game, dude.
No, you can't say that to the players on the field though.
To be fair,
during
we
the Super Bowl
multiple times in that game.
Oh, that's this one fumble. I was just like, no. There was moments where like
slipped out of his hand. And
it was
like as they ran away with it.
It was moments where like if this didn't happen, the outcome would have been very much different. But it was the fact for me that it fell off so drastically. Like our defense fell off so drastically in the second half after halftime. I was like, what? Yeah. Y'all were different people before the second half.
I feel that entirely. I'm not much of a sportsman
anymore.
Same. Like I used to be like heavily into sports. Like I played baseball growing up. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play lacrosse in high school, but I didn't have the confidence to do so because I didn't want to meet new people at that time. Like I was in band. I'm like, these are my people. I'm not going to go fucking do something else. And I remember Ryan did it, and I was extremely jealous of him actually doing it. So then I did play, but it was when I was an adult, extremely out of shape. So I'm like, I need to either play offense or defense exclusively. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to put you in mid and make you run the whole field. And I'm like, I'm dying. Like, I'm physically dying.
They have to break you first.
But when it comes to lacrosse, though, like, I'm very into, like, box lacrosse, obviously, since I have season tickets to the Wings and shit. Mm-hmm. And I can very much tell when they are bad at defense because our defense is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And we lost every home game except for the last one that we went to. And the reason was because our fucking offense wasn't doing shit. And the defense was just constantly getting, like, ground into the ground. Right. Even though they were doing amazing plays, going after the ball. The fucking goalie was making amazing saves. Maybe let 1 or 2 in, but nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. And then after halftime, it's just like, well, the defense is dead now. So, like, they can't do anything.
That's frustrating.
You know? And, like, it's... I feel like it might have been that type of situation where the offense was cooking for a bit, and then after that it was like, okay, now what are you guys doing? Why are we not doing the offense anymore? Where's the offense? And then the defense just kept having to go back out and getting tireder and more tired. And then
turnovers, and it was...
It's one of those things where you can blame the defense all you want, but the defense only does bad, in my opinion, if the offense isn't holding up their end of the bargain.
all in all, when it ended, it was just like it didn't have to be this way.
Yeah, and I also just don't care about football. Like football, I think, is ironically the least entertaining sport to me, because it's literally just 3 or 4 seconds of play and then commercials and old men talking. That's it. That's all it is. Like, are the plays really good that happen when they do happen? Yes, but that's not an excuse for the thousands of commercials that I have to watch.
Yeah, all right. Well, what if you're there and like
if you're there in person, I'm super bored.
Baseball
bored at the Super Bowl.
Baseball's the
Podcast
most
title.
boring one to me.
Baseball, I can see that, but I'm a huge fan of the pitching. I've talked about this a lot before, but like the pitching is the most interesting thing to me. Like, obviously, you know, everyone wants to see a fucking home run. You know, it's holy shit, look what he did. Like, that's crazy. But the more interesting thing to me is the mind game that the pitcher is playing with the batter, trying to trick them into swinging, or getting it past them before they have a chance to swing, or even, you know, intentionally walking them to make a better choice because you know this guy's gonna do something good.
Yeah, but I think there's just as many commercials in any mainstream sport.
No, not as much as football, because they're advertising.
Well, because football has the
during
most
game.
eyes. Like yeah, like because that's gonna get.
Yeah, but like in between plays, they're advertising shit. That play was brought to you by the Nissan Altima. Was it? Did any of the players show up in the Nissan Altima today? No. America runs on Dunkin'. Did any of these players drink Dunkin' before they played? No, they'd be doo-dooing on the field.
If you take out all like ad and you just take, I'm talking about taking the sport as it is.
Yeah, it's boring.
I don't think so.
It's just silence. So much silence for such a long period of time. Like, the only break in between that you get of baseball is them changing positions, like teams on the field, and changing batters. That's the only 2 times where there's like a break, as opposed to football where it's like
the intensity.
we're gonna take a break for 13 minutes.
The intensity of football destroys baseball to me. I'll watch baseball and just be like bored out of my mind. Scam likely. Fuck you guys. Don't try to scam me, ho.
Goddamn.
That's baseball calling me. My favorite is basketball.
Basketball, I'm ironically in the same camp of not liking, because nothing matters in basketball until the last 10 minutes of the game.
That's not true.
Most games. There are games where it's just like a fucking runaway and like teams will just like dunk on, no pun intended, the other team. But most games are like pretty much even number wise, and it's could go anyway. And then in the last 10 minutes, it's like, okay, now who's actually?
No, but there's buzzer beaters and double overtimes.
Yeah,
and...
but that's at the end. It's in the last 10 minutes.
Well, it can
where
only
that
be
stuff
at the
happens.
end.
Well, yeah, all the rest of it doesn't matter.
But that could be any sport.
No, it's not, because in hockey, if you got a scoring back and forth the whole entire game, that's interesting.
Hockey's such a low scoring sport.
Only.
Like I can't.
Well, I feel like the score amount doesn't matter. I feel like basketball, with the amount of points that each team gets, it's just like you're compensating. Like, come on, man. Like, that's so many points for one game, as opposed to like an actual. Not saying that it doesn't take skill to play basketball, but like using like a stick or an extra instrument to like hit something somewhere and get it in an exact spot, as opposed to just throwing a ball into a thing or dunking or like close up. They're not comparable to me.
I don't think they're comparable either.
Yeah. Like, I feel like one takes more skill. One is skillful, but it's, I want to say easier to master, because that just makes it sound like it's different. But like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's easier to walk into basketball and be able to do okay, as opposed to like hockey or baseball.
I don't know, man.
Because hockey, you have to skate. You have to learn how to skate not only forward, backwards.
You have to dribble.
Dribbling is easy.
No, it's not, because you have to dribble a specific. You can't just dribble any way you want.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You just fucking do this.
Do you understand how the dribbling works in basketball?
Yeah, you bounce it on the ground, and that's it. And then you can't not bounce it after a certain amount of steps, whatever that.
And you can't double dribble. You can't dribble.
What is double dribble? What does that even mean?
So if you don't know,
if the ball bounces on the ground twice before it touches your hand?
You can't dribble like this.
Well, no shit, I didn't do that. I did this.
But I didn't say you did. I'm just saying there's more to dribbling than just this. You have to move and dribble too. Like it's not like you're just doing this the whole time.
All I'm saying
you
is
have to dribble,
I was able
defend,
to do that
move, switch hands.
School, easy peasy.
All right,
I get on
go on an exhibition court.
No, but that's I can do that and I can master.
I'm gonna take
easier.
you to the Crip court that Jonah Hill was at, and you people, and you tell them that.
As long as fucking Eddie Murphy is there, we're good. I want to talk to him. I'd love to have a conversation with Eddie Murphy. That'd be so much fun. But no, I just feel like it's more easily accessible than other sports, and it requires less dedication than other sports. Because, like, at least with basketball,
I think that's baseball.
No, because of the exact reason you could literally just walk outside of your house, go to the sidewalk, and practice dribbling for hours.
Yes,
and become a master at it. Same thing with like shooting hoops. If you have like a basketball net set up in your street or something, you don't have to go anywhere. For hockey, for baseball, you always need to go somewhere to craft your sport more. Basketball, obviously, you can go to a court to have like the more real life experience and whatnot. But like, if I want to, I can literally just set up in your basement here with this hardwood floor and be like, yeah, I'm good. I can dribble on hardwood, and it's pretty much the same thing as an NBA court, as opposed to if I'm like, I'm going to practice my ice skating. I can't do that. All right, well,
yes,
here,
obviously.
You know?
Yes, you can't do that.
It's just one of those things where it's easily accessible. And that's where I'm like, it's not like it's a lesser of any means. It's just one of those things where I'm like, these athletes over here, I give a little bit more respect to because they're doing so much more with their bodies and much more needed to do the sport than basketball, where you can do it anywhere.
So then you must love like fencing, where you have all this gear on and a sword.
Listen,
and like,
in theory, you can do that at home.
If you want to base it on equipment and activeness, like
I'm
with
just
the
saying
equipment.
it takes more to get into other sports than it does basketball. Like basketball, all you need is a decent pair of shoes that give you some sort of ankle support and a ball. That's all you need. As opposed to hockey or baseball, where it's like you need a mitt, you need cleats, you need dirt on the ground, as opposed to, you need a fucking field. You need a baseball bat. You need a helmet. You need pads if you want to protect your arms and shit. Same thing with hockey. You need a stick.
Then why don't you respect football then, where you need
I don't
pads?
respect football because it's boring. It's not entertaining.
I think this is a personal thing.
Yeah. Football's just not entertaining. Like, it's entertaining for 3 seconds, then it's over. That'd be like if, like, you were getting with someone and, like, you would have sex for 3 seconds and then stop and watch 5 commercials for Pepsi. And then go back and do another 3 seconds. And then get out, and then, oh, look, now Coca-Cola.
You don't need
like, that's all it is.
You don't need no equipment for sex.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do.
Makes it a little bit better.
True that.
I don't know. I have no experience with that.
No experience with
I
sex.
just had heard some stuff on the streets.
When I have sex, I go outside, I put on my pads and my helmet, and I find a woman.
Sex, I'm ice skating, yo.
All right, what's the next question?
Next question was favorite TV shows, which you kindly used my gif of Go Sports in regards to the question about the Eagles. Was Simpsons for you, obviously.
Yeah. That's my favorite show of all time. I'm trying to think of like my favorite just shows. I don't know. I hate to be basic, but like,
You know, I mean, it's fine.
I love, like, when The Office was at its peak, I loved The Office.
I hate The Office. The shooting style pisses me off. Like the weird zoom-ins.
Is that with any of those kind of shows?
Sometimes. Like the only one that I've been fine with is Community. That's the only one where it's not as drastic. With like,
I'm about to say Community doesn't do it as much.
Yeah, they still do it though, and it like whenever it's like the Wilhelm scream, like you know, like in movies and shit where they use that. I'm just like, really, you took me out of the immersion. But with The Office, like they use that zoom-in thing so much, and I'm like, I get it.
Was that the first show like that?
Technically, no, because the British Office came out first.
Well, you know what I mean. The Office in general. Was that the first brand that did that?
Maybe. It could be, but I it's one of those things where I don't mind it. It's just like they overuse it to the point of exhaustion. And I can't get over it, like the Wilhelm scream, personally. But I understand why people like The Office. I watch the clips that are on like TikTok and shit, like, but I'm never going to watch it top to bottom.
Wow, man, I love The
Top
Office.
to bottom, though. How I Met Your Mother.
Never seen it.
9 times.
Did you watch it through?
Top to bottom.
I don't know how many times I watched Simpsons.
I have whipped
but
so much of that show. It's insane.
But that's a show that I hear so much about that it's just like I'm willing to just go watch that.
That's one of those shows where
Community was good too. Now you bring in Community.
Is phenomenal. I've never watched that top to bottom, but like whenever it's on, I'm sitting here and I'm watching it.
I watched Community late. Like I think they were going on like the last 2 seasons when I started watching it. And then when I saw an episode and liked it, I went to the beginning, watched it all the way up to current, and then kept up with it week to week.
Yeah. But yeah, How I Met Your Mother's good. What's another one? I never seen Breaking Bad, but I know it's the best show.
Me neither.
Ever.
Heard it's the greatest thing in the world.
It's one of those
Never
things where
saw
I'm
it.
just like, I know it's the greatest thing ever. I don't care enough to watch it. Like I miss the hype. Same thing with Game of Thrones. I miss the hype train.
Saying I missed all of that.
And I just don't care enough to like look into it.
The thing with Game of Thrones is I tried. Like when it was like ramping up like towards the last season, I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I sat with Adrian, we tried to watch it, and by like the second episode, I know you have to like, it's one of those like, no, but you got to get to this point.
Yeah.
I couldn't get to that point. I got to the second episode and was like, this is the most boring shit I've ever sat through. I'm not going to make it to the point where it gets good.
That was me with The Walking Dead. I tried to watch The Walking Dead, and I remember there was a marathon on, I think around like the 5th season, and I put it on for, I think, 2 hours, and I was so fucking bored the whole time. And it's ironic what I'm about to say, but it was because
they didn't have on enough equipment.
They didn't have enough zombies.
Too many commercials.
There were no fucking zombies in the episodes that I watched. And I'm like, this is a show about the apocalypse because of zombies. I understand that you're trying to focus on the characters more, but all these characters are fucking boring to me. At least for me. That's ironic saying, because The Last of Us is phenomenal.
Amazing.
And like, if they don't have a zombie in the episode, I'm fine with it, because the people are at least interesting. And it's not even because of the game either. I think I'd love this show even if I didn't
Without
play
it.
the game.
Yes, it's that good.
So that obviously is on my list, even though it's not even over yet. What's another one that is good? It's a TV show.
Yeah, that's where I got to keep my brain at TV.
Scrubs.
Scrubs was good.
Scrubs is one of my
I'm your
favorite.
Superman. I liked Boy Meets World growing up a lot.
Dude,
We had to the point where like when the DVDs came out, like me and my brother bought the DVDs of that show.
kind of look like Eric Matthews with this.
You
hair.
do have the Eric Matthews.
Nice. If I was going to be anyone in that show, I wish I was Eric Matthews, because I feel like he has the most growth of a character, which is saying a lot, because he's technically a side character.
He started normal and then got progressively. He just became the goof.
Yeah, but then it was also deep as fuck or something. Like, remember the episode where he tried to adopt
Tommy?
a kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently saw, what's the new one that's out? It's like Girl Meets
Girl
World.
Meets World.
There was an episode where I think Eric's
I know what you're
running
talking about.
for office or some shit in some sort of
And he's in the
school
crowd.
district. And the guy who's in the debate with, he's like, you don't have kids. How the hell do we know that you give a shit about kids? And then Tommy's like, I know, because Eric was the best thing that ever. And then like he just left the debate stage and was just like, I don't give a fuck about the debate anymore. Tommy's here.
I haven't
that
seen
was,
him in
like,
years.
Heartwarming to me.
Yeah.
But Boy Meets World is so good. What's another show? I watched a lot of like the Nickelodeon shows back in the day, like the live action ones, like, you know, iCarly and shit. But one that I really liked and I think was underrated for the time was Zoe 101.
That was after my time.
It was Britney Spears' sister,
Yeah.
the younger one. And that show, like the comedy in there was really well placed. It was kind of like the same comedy of iCarly, but like more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Before, like, they were just like, everything's got to be a cartoon.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was nice because it was still serious, and there was like the relationship issues and shit. And they were also like technically on a college campus, even though they were in high school, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a lot of good character work and shit. And I liked it a lot as a kid. So there was that. Obviously, cartoons we already went over in the tier list. Go watch that video.
Please. I liked Kenan and Kel back in the day. Like, I'll still turn Kenan and Kel on and watch it.
Yeah.
Dave
is phenomenal.
Atlanta.
I still have to watch that.
What's new that I like? Last of Us, of course. I like Abbott Elementary.
I saw clips of that, and it does the Office thing.
It's The Office, but it's in a school.
I'm not a fan. There's like a decent bit of them that I used to watch back in the day. I feel like How I Met Your Mother is like my favorite one though. I still want to get like a tattoo of How I Met Your Mother somehow, Like there's like a running thing throughout the whole season with an umbrella, and I really want that umbrella tattooed on me because it's one of those things where it's like the smallest detail can be your biggest connecting thing in the end, and like what the relationships.
Yeah.
And it kind of just like floats in and out of the story, and then at the like final season, it kind of like shows you the recap of like what all happened with it and like how it traversed through the whole entire like 9 seasons plus.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. But I'm just a simp for Barney Stinson as well. So Neil Patrick Harris is the best.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. I don't know if there's many others that I don't watch TV often.
Yeah, now
Obviously,
I don't.
Mandalorian. I forgot about Star Wars stuff. You need to watch The Mandalorian.
I do.
Yeah. Like, even if you don't watch Star Wars stuff, like, that's the show that it's like, it kind of transcends Star Wars, where it's just good.
Yeah, there was people I knew who weren't into Star Wars who liked The Mandalorian.
It's just a really good Western show. Like, it's a Western. A space opera Western, that is. But, you know, it's just fucking amazing, gorgeous, and even all, like, the references to, like, what's happening in the universe at the same time, because it's technically after the original trilogy ends, like right after like the Death Star blows up for the final time, and like you'll see that in the show obviously, but that's like the time period. And if you watch other Star Wars shit, there's other shit that's happening at the same time as Mando that you're like, oh shit, while he's doing this is happening over here, and that's really cool.
People keep up. That's a lot to keep up with.
It is.
It's a lot to keep up. I respect it because it's a lot to keep up with without fucking the storyline up somehow.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just one of those things where it's just phenomenal. Apparently that Andor show is good, but I didn't watch it because I just don't care about that character. He was a dude that was in Rogue One, and I already don't care about that movie because it's like there's one line in, I think it's A New Hope, where they're talking about like the Death Star plans, like and how they got it. It was like, yeah, we got it from blah 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 blah, and that's what that movie is about. That one sentence.
Got it.
And I was like, I don't care enough.
People seem to love Andor.
Yeah. Well, the thing that sucks though is that in Rogue One, the character Andor is in it, and like I don't want to spoil that movie, but needless to say, obviously A New Hope happens and Andor isn't in it, so you can kind of, you know, mentally do those gymnastics to figure out what happens. But Andor the show is a prequel to the movie Rogue One, so I'm like, okay, well, Andor the character gets all of his character development from Rogue One. As far as I'm concerned, like he's like a dickhead at the beginning of the movie, and then he becomes like, you know, hero.
His name is Andor?
Yeah, it's
I thought the
Cassian
place
Andor.
was called Andor.
It's Endor.
Oh.
Andor is that's his last name. It's Cassian Andor, Andor. Endor is Endor, which is the planet with the
Wookiees?
No, that's Kashyyyk. Endor is the forest planet with the Ewoks.
Ewoks. I knew it was.
Which is the only reason why Darth Sidious lost, if you think about it. Because if you think about the original trilogy, Darth Sidious was kind of orchestrating everything, right?
Right.
Palpatine. The one thing he didn't take account for was Ewoks, which are the things, those little teddy bears that helped the rebellion win on the planet. Because he already knew the rebellion was going to be down there. He had a trap set up for them, and that was it. But he didn't account for Ewoks.
How much equipment are the Ewoks wearing?
Not much. They're technically naked.
So they're boring.
Yeah,
That's why they
boring.
haven't
They
revisited
did
it.
have their own animated show, though, so that's a thing.
What were we talking? Oh, shows.
Shows. We can move on to the next topic as well, because
Yeah.
I kind of ran dry. Frankie says, favorite guilty pleasure.
This is very broad. So now I have to think of what I'm going to like zero in on as a guilty pleasure.
Rom-coms. I love rom-coms. It's like my thing.
They're dependable.
Yeah.
Give you that.
I'm just like, make me fucking cry and laugh at the same time, please.
This is hard for me. Guilty pleasures. Like I don't want to be corny and be like podcasts. Cuz I've noticed as I get deeper into the podcast world, like when I'm listening to something in the car, it used to be just like music. than podcasts.
100%.
And it's slowly doing this.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I'll play music, and I'm like, all right, like, a new album will come out. Like, oh, let me listen to this shit. And I'll get, like, good halfway, 75% way through the album, and I'm getting to the point where, like, I want to put a podcast on. Like, I want to get through this music.
I need someone to talk to me right now.
Yeah, so I can put a podcast on.
I feel that. Yeah. I don't have many, to say the least, but...
I don't know, tech YouTube. Like, you saw the shit I was watching before where people are just opening up PCs and tricking them out or putting shit in them. And obviously audio YouTube. We're playing with plugins and better effective ways to edit stuff. Some of this doesn't seem like guilty pleasure. It just seems like that's like interest.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to think of what is a guilty pleasure for me.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I don't have many, I don't think, that I think is, like, weird. Plus, the world is so weird nowadays that, like...
Yeah, everything is normal now.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have many.
ROM hacks. I know I like video games and all, but I like watching people play... hacked version of old games. So something you're so familiar with, somebody has taken and turned it, done a 180 to it, and added a bunch of weird shit. I like looking up that type shit.
I don't know what else, man. I kind of like just like going places and walking around with no intention, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's like a guilty thing, but it's one of those things where like I just go somewhere by myself and just exist somewhere. Like, I'm not trying to spend money. I'm just, like, existing somewhere. I like that a lot. I did that recently again. I used to do it a lot, but I stopped for a while. But I did it recently where I literally just, like, after dinner one day, I was like, I'm going to Barnes & Noble. And my parents were like, what the fuck are you doing that for? I'm like, just going to go sit for a while. And they're like, looking at me like...
We have chairs here.
Like, I'm like, about to go, like, shoot up the Barnes & Noble or some shit. And I'm like, no, I just need to go somewhere that's not here and... just sit. And I just like drew something for, I forget which one I drew, one of the things that I did. I don't know. I think it might, I don't know, fucking look at my Instagram. Why not? Shout out to my Instagram.
Shout out to his Instagram. While you're looking that up, let me see if I can remember something else I like to do, or a guilty pleasure.
No, yeah, I did.
Oh, no, you found it.
This one at a,
oh yeah,
fucking, it's the skull with the train and the eyeball and the smoke. And yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, we could make that into like a merch T-shirt and just call it Off the Rails, and it's like technically us, but it's also not.
It's off the rails, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I literally just drew that for like an hour, and I was like, okay, and then I finished it at home, and I just had it on my ear. I think I was listening to Sinatra for a bit. I love Sinatra. That's a guilty pleasure, I would say. That's
yeah.
I don't know why I like Sinatra so much, but I do. A new guilty pleasure is definitely like records and vinyls that I just started getting into. I have a rule though that I'm not buying albums that are like albums like from artists or something like that. I'm only doing soundtracks. So I got the Cowboy Bebop one and I got the TV show version.
Okay.
Because it was on clearance compared to the animated one. But the beauty is the music's the same. So clearance
valid
thing.
Yeah.
Then I got Spider-Man, the original one, Danny Elfman, and I got the variant version that's silver because the webbing on his suit is silver. And there was a gold one and a black one as well. But I feel like the silver one's cool because like it's this web color and then the suit got the silver on it. So
gotcha.
That works out. What else did I get? I got another one. Shit. I got Ultimate Sinatra. That's the only one I was like, I will get Sinatra. That blue album with him just on the front says Ultimate Sinatra on it. Top to bottom, best Sinatra album. And then I recently just found at Walmart the Blues Brothers soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I saw you put that up.
And it was the Walmart exclusive blue clear version. And I was like,
collectors.
Right there. Oh yes.
Take it all, Blues Brothers.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
I have a guilty pleasure artists that I like, and that's like Wiz Khalifa.
I didn't even think about music.
And the reason I call him a guilty pleasure artist is because I'm into lyrics. I'm into like intricacies of breaking down a verse and amazing beats and stuff like that. Wiz Khalifa, and it's not a diss to Wiz Khalifa at all. I think there's place in the music landscape for this type of artist. He's not necessarily intricate lyrically. He's not like trying to wow you with this like super impressive verse.
Black and Yellow hit me right in the heart, man.
I love Black and Yellow.
Yeah, I do too.
But like,
it was our school's anthem because we were the Truman Tigers and our colors were black and gold.
oh, so that worked out really good for you guys.
100%.
Like he has lyrics like "Call from my jeweler is just in." So I forgot what the next line is. Something, something, something to the best in. Something, something. It's just these really like almost elementary.
I went to the grocery store, got eggs,
but
really expensive.
But the way he bounces on that beat of Black and Yellow, I'm just like, this is just
vibing,
easy, fun, vibey music.
I feel that.
And me, like, if you would have like talked to me from anywhere from like 2000 to like 2010, I'm like, nah, man, I need bars. I need fucking you going in and you're going crazy and yada 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 yada. You're just killing it.
Metaphor.
Exactly. And if you would have told me like, yo, you're gonna like this, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That ain't hip hop.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, nah, give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that. I don't, because now I think it got to a point where the landscape of hip hop changed so much. Because at one point it was about that. It was about bars and metaphors, and it became like feel good, vibey, auto tune music.
I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello.
Yeah,
I fucking love that.
I love that song,
dude. I remember when that came out when I was in high school. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, just the old thing, you know. Everyone's like, I was at my third job.
I wasn't even gonna do it.
Yeah, but that came out in high school, dude, and I was like, this fucking slaps. This is the good shit right here.
It was and that was one of those songs at the time I was like, I shouldn't love this as much as I love this. Hey.
That little extra. Hey.
I said, hey, what's up? Hello. See your pretty ass soon as you kept in the dark. Then the beat drop.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I got a couple of those type of artists, like guilty pleasure artists.
I feel that. I'm that way with Broadway. I like Broadway musicals a lot, but it's like specific shit. Like, I love Rent and their soundtrack. It's funny because I listen to the movie version because I like the music better from there because it's more produced. And, like, you know, like it sounds like it's an actual, like, album they put out.
Right.
As opposed to, like, in a concert hall or some shit. But then on the flip end of that, I love the Newsies album, but only from the Broadway play that was recorded for Disney.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And I don't like the movie Newsies with Christian Bale. I hate it. I think it sucks. And then, because like I watched the Broadway play version, and it's got the lead is Jeremy Jordan. He was in Supergirl. He was like the nerdy sidekick, the tech guy. And he's the main guy in that, and he's a phenomenal singer and shit. He was actually supposed to be in The Greatest Showman with what's his name? Our previous
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, yeah. He was supposed to be in that, and there's like video footage of them doing like the test recordings of all the songs.
Yeah.
And then Zac Efron took his spot. And I was like, bruh.
Yeah,
Jeremy
right.
Jordan would have been better. Like, you could see that he would have been better in this fucking like preliminary shit. But yeah, man, I love Broadway shit for some reason. I don't know why. It's just it's campy as fuck, but it just hits sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
The opening of Rent, like the first song in Rent besides the 525th. I hate that song. I think that song sucks ass. But the first song, like the one where they're like talking about we ain't paying rent, it's just those fucking build up, but they're like,
I know you're talking, yeah.
And then it just fucking kicks like, I'm like,
it's so campy, but it's great.
Yeah.
I speaking of campy, you already know this. I love me some like
camping.
No, I'm black. I don't fucking go outside. I'm not sleeping outside.
Am I black? I don't go outside either, and I don't like sleeping outside.
Congrats.
Holy shit.
Welcome. I will let
discovery we've made on this podcast.
I'll let them know you're with me.
I can't wait to do the 23andMe on next week's episode. Patreon.
Going to the black
That'd be
spots.
A fun thing to do for Patreon, or just a regular video, just a 23andMe. We
we
send
can
that
do
shit away.
Get the results. To be continued for that.
That'd be cool.
Speaking of campy, I already like some like good vintage white pop. Give me a good white pop song.
Dirty pop.
Oh man, like that's it. Like I throw on some old like boy bands or something.
Boy bands is definitely one for me. Yeah.
Like in any scenario, like if that comes on and I just go off, like you're used to it now, but people will be like, the fuck? Like, because I'll go from like lyrical miracle spirit, like all of that, and then just start down.
You might be hurt,
Babe.
No, give me some good white pop and I'm all in there. It is. That's a lovely
one.
one.
Thing that I have to do. I can remember this shit. Can't see the timestamp 'cause it's so fucking far over. I don't know how long we've been recording either.
I don't either. It's
feels
been over
very
an hour.
flowy,
It's flowing.
Yeah.
Got to take advantage of those
This
moments.
is what happens when we're in person again.
I know.
We fucking
I
go.
know.
As opposed to being over on Discord and we're just like, so
Next.
weather is a thing that happens technically.
All right. I think we covered that.
Yes.
Was there any more?
We got two technically that are the same question in my mind. Ever show up or go to work drunk / great day drunk stories?
Yes, I went to work. Well, I wasn't like drunk to the point where I can't work. It was. I told the story how I went to Atlantic City and drinking with this chick all night and then drove all the way back and got to work.
I think it was like episode 2 of the Patreon. If you want to go back and listen to that, I think.
My bad. I was reading something. Yeah. So, yes and no. So, like, I was inebriated, but I don't think I was drunk. But that's the closest I've ever been to that.
I've never been at work drunk before, or high. Just to throw that in there for context. But I've definitely shown up to like do work. Like I remember at school, I went to go drink at my buddy's house, and they were gonna go all out, like, and go out to bars and shit. I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. So I just walked back to the lab and just started working on like my capstone while extremely inebriated. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that I probably clicked the same button like 30 times to do the same thing, and like undo. Like I would do it, undo it, and then do it again. And I was like stuck in a feedback loop of that.
That's funny.
As far as day drunk stories, I don't really get drunk anymore. Besides like last night, like it was one of those things where I was like,
it's kind of hard for me to get day drunk right now.
Yeah, like I've never been in the position where I'm like I want to be day drunk before. Like I've never been like this is a thing that I'm seeking.
Right.
It was one of those things yesterday where I was just like, you know what, I haven't drank in a while, I'm gonna have some. And it was funny because I was talking to the girl I'm talking to, and she was like, yeah, I've been blackout drunk a couple times and it wasn't fun. I'm like, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, I've never been blackout drunk, so I always have to play like the dad in the situation of the group. Like I remember going out to the bars one night and we were all like, this was probably the closest I'd ever been to getting blackout drunk, but one of my buddies at the time, he like got out of the Uber and we're at his place, and he just goes to like walk across the street, and I swear to God, you know those moments where you're like, I'm Spider-Man, or like I have superpowers, you know?
Yes.
Like those moments where you're like, oh shit. I literally grabbed this dude by his collar and just fucking
Oh yeah, you did tell this story.
Threw him like 4 feet behind me. And if I didn't, he would have been hit by a car going like 60 on a main road. And in my mind, I'm so fucking drunk at the time, and I'm like, well, that was a thing that happened. He's pissed off because, you know, I threw him into the fucking bushes, but I'm like...
Well, you could have been hit by a car.
Yeah. And I tried to explain that, but, you know, I never got a thank you. But it was also ironic because when we were talking about that shit last night, I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's kind of shitty to think about that, like, that was a thing that happened, and, like, he never was, like, grateful about it. And then I remember one night, he was, like, joking. You know, like, we joke, like, yo, go fucking kill yourself, man. You know, like, that's phrase. And I was in a dark place at the time, and I was super drunk, and I was like, I've tried, man. Didn't work out. And
shit.
It was definitely, like, I do that a lot where I make fun of, in light of the situation where I have, you know, been there before and tried, and it failed, thankfully. But he was just like, damn, man, don't fucking say that shit around me. Like, don't bring down the mood of the place. And I was kind of just, like, taken back by that, because the way I said it was definitely jovial. Like, I wasn't like, yeah, I've tried before. Like, some shit.
Yeah. You didn't sit in the darkness of it.
Yeah, it was very much like yeah, I tried, didn't work. That was like the tone of it. And he just like fucking was like, yeah, don't fucking talk about that shit. And I'm like, oh, you aren't a good friend. Holy shit. That just revealed itself.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And
he didn't mean it in a way like, don't talk about that. It's not good for you to talk about.
no, it was very much you're bringing down the mood of the party. And like it was weird because I kind of just sat there for a moment and I was like, did that just happen? And I talked to another buddy that I'm still friends with, which I haven't like seen him in a bit because he lives in Delaware. But I like sat down with him like, that was weird, right? And he's like, yeah, that was kind of weird. I don't know if I agree with how that was said, but it's all good. And I'm like, all right, let's just keep drinking and eating Domino's pizza, because that's the only choice you have in college. But yeah, man, that was some shit. So yeah,
I can't really think of a day drink time. Like I've gone to like Atlantic City and just been drunk on the boardwalk, but I don't think that's a good story. Like nothing happened.
I've never done that type of shit before, man. I've never been to AC and like experienced it the right way. Like I went to Wildwood once on like a little vacation, like a weekend type thing. Get like a shitty fucking house that's on the beach. And, and fucking, it was just a nightmare the whole time. Like I just wanted to die because I don't like the beach. The beach sucks. I don't know about
sand.
Y'all. The sand is fucking annoying. Like genuinely, not even like the meme on the whole Star Wars thing, but like I fucking hate when I'm done at the beach how I'm walking and I just got fucking sand grinding up on my bits. Like I don't like that shit. And it's not like I'm trying to get sand up there or like I don't even go in the water anymore because like that's what it used to happen with. Like you go in the water and then you got fucking sand everywhere.
Yeah.
I would go to the beach and I would not go in the water, just sit down on a fucking chair and just be there, and then I'd be walking around the next hour and be like, why the fuck do I have
doesn't
a
matter.
Salt shaker in my balls?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fuck.
Once wind blows past you, there's sand all over you.
That shit sucks. But I would literally just do the boardwalk, and like I remember at Wildwood, that was actually when I started collecting toys again for the first time. I went to this one store, and I overpaid so much for a Daredevil and a Carnage figure from Marvel Legends. I still have them too, and they both suck. I bought them in such shitty condition, and I'm like, damn, man, this was like the catalyst that started it all back up again, and now I look like a KB Toys.
You do.
So, like, that's cool.
It's better than that Toys R Us, the Macy's Toys R Us you went to.
I was so sad when I saw that. For context, I went to Macy's and, the mall to get my mom some birthday gifts because hers was yesterday. And we went in through Macy's. I'm like, oh, shit, they got Toys R Us. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I gotta see it, Like
I haven't been in it. I only know that what it looks like because my mom went there looking for something for Trenton one time and was sending me pictures of it.
Yeah, but it's depressing, man. Like it's very depressing to see how god awful it is. And like I remember we're walking around and shit, and Ryan like pulls out like this Power Rangers thing. Like, dude, they got fucking Power Rangers Samurai stuff, and that was from like 2016. And I'm like, how in the fuck did you guys reopen Toys R Us and have toys from when Toys R Us was a thing still?
Yeah, right?
Like
full circle in a weird way. Like
Toys R Us still exists in Canada and other places. So it's like they have updated shit. Like I've been to Canada Toys R Us and it's phenomenal. They have fucking Jeffrey the Giraffe walking around every day. And it's amazing. I literally had a selfie with me and Jeffrey and our old co-host as one of my Bumble dating profile pictures, because I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is who I am." You're gonna understand that,
right?
Like, before you swipe right on me, please understand.
That I am a toyman.
I am a child.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's about all I got. I think.
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't really got none for that one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's a good podcast.
It's a pretty good episode.
Punch the mic. But yeah,
it deserved it.
Got one more coming out for this month for you guys. Obviously live podcast we got to do still. It's just kind of hard with you guys. Like, I'm not gonna blame you guys.
Yeah.
But everyone's got their own fucking schedule, and when we try to schedule the live podcast, it feels shitty when we can't get you guys on because you're busy. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I feel bad because I'm like, you guys are paying this like premium tier, but then you're not able to come on and we feel bad about it. So I don't know if we're going to try and rework that.
I think we might have to, at least until we grow the community a little bit more.
Yeah. not saying that we'll take it away as like a thing that we're doing. Like we'll still live stream the last podcast if we can each month, and if you guys want to come on, we'll do that. But I feel like we need to add something else to that final tier. That's like, this is why it's the $10
Right.
because the you guys coming on thing isn't gonna happen often because y'all have fucking lives,
Right.
just like we do. So yeah. I think that's about all we got for you guys for this week.
man, this is a good one.
We got to figure out what we're going to play. In theory, honestly, I kind of just want to play Nidhogg.
We could. I'm down.
Yeah. But at the same time, we got options, man. We got a Steam Deck that's got games on it for
Multiples.
days. Plug in controllers to that, John. What else do we got? We got RE8 that we can still play.
True.
What else?
I don't know. It's just options on options.
There's a part of me that wants to do like a Game Grumps style video of like you just playing Hogwarts and me just being here commentating on you playing it, and like don't even have like a camera on, just like do voices and just like sit back and relax on the couch. And play.
I wouldn't mind that. Doing some that aren't doesn't have our video capture of it. It's just audio.
I've been thinking about it. I've been watching a lot of Game Grumps as of late. I've been using their it's not their videos, but like the people that do like the best of December from this year.
Yeah.
Like I watch those to go to sleep now, and it's like ASMR to me. Meanwhile, they're just joking about like pissing and shitting, and I'm like, ah, yes, wonderful.
Of course, because that's their go-to.
Yeah, you know. But I love the Game Grumps. I've been like falling in love with them again. Like I used to love them when they first started, then I fell off for a while. And now I'm like rediscovering love with like the 10-minute power hour shit.
I feel like I fall on and off Game Grumps a million times a year, a couple times. Because like Aaron himself, I think I've been watching him since Newgrounds, like all his material.
Same.
When he came to YouTube, I was excited.
Cartoons, yeah.
Exactly. When he got to Newgrounds, I was like, YouTube. I was like, oh shit, he's on YouTube.
Yeah. And
then he came out with Game Grumps, and I was like, up to the episode, like every episode I would watch, all the way up until I think Dan got there, and then I was still watching it all the time. But then as like my life got more complicated or shit would go on, I kind of like fell off. Obviously, you can't see them all, so especially how they do it, how they started doing it.
Yeah, there's also a ton of videos that are just like I'm not interested at all.
Right, same.
Even though I'm here for y'all, I don't want to watch you guys play Power Washing Simulator for 3 hours. I'm sorry. But you know what we should do? What was the fuck? I literally just lost the thought as I was saying it. Fuck. In the 10-minute power, you know the 10-minute power hour, right? The live thing. They did one episode where they did the Newlyweds game. Like, you know, where it's like you have like a whiteboard.
Oh yeah.
And then like I'll be like, what's my favorite underwear brand? And then you have to guess it, and then I'll turn around with the answer. We
Victoria's Secret
episode, and then make like clips and shit of it for like a regular YouTube video.
I'm down with that. That'd
be fun.
That's fun enough.
Yeah, we need a whiteboard.
I mean, they're
Time
cheap.
for a Target run.
Yeah, we can get like a little small whiteboard.
Yeah, that'd be a fun situation to do. There was another thing. Oh yeah, Dan from Game Grumps. You know he makes music, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the song
Ninja Sex Party?
It's my favorite song from them, and I think we should play it as the last bit of this video.
First Date is what it's called?
Yeah, it's Ninja Sex Party, and I think it's called First Date.
I don't think I heard that, no.
Pull it up. We're going to live react to this, because I need to see your reaction, because I love this. Also, it's an animated music video.
I like those.
And it's really fucking good.
Nah, I should just put First Date.
I think. I think it's called First Date, but I could be wrong, to be honest.
I'm going to just put their whole name then.
It might be one of their more, like, viewed songs and shit, too. I was just listening to it in the car, and that's why,
Is that it?
No, that was the first chord of When You Were Young by the Killers. And I was trying to go backwards in my listening, and it was like, nah, you didn't listen to anything before this for some reason on Spotify.
Why am I not getting any automatic?
Maybe because the word sex. But this is my favorite Ninja Sex Party song. There it is. 7.5 million views.
Of course, because why not?
Warm up with the
Ads.
Wawa hoagies.
Yes, I do not have premium YouTube.
That looks gross.
Yeah. All right, what's going on with that? When did this come out?
4 years ago.
All right.
It's my favorite song ever.
I'm not like other guys. I can tell that you have played it safe your whole life. So let's get naughty and break a couple rules tonight. Speaking of movie, no one will ever know.
This is good. I always like their shit though. This is why I like Dan's lyrics.
Hey,
Let's
I like you. I got your flowers.
Let's commit some crimes.
It's also animated really well.
Really well. Rock a burglary. I love the wordplay.
We could go a little more traditional, go for a walk, watch a movie. Actually, there's a really nice flower exhibit at the Botanical Gardens. Ninja Brian was just telling
Really
me about
good
that
guitar.
last week. He loved it. Wait, you know what? Fuck it. Let's kill some guy tonight.
That's some guy.
Yep.
Let's take a motherfucking ride tonight. Young and alive. Wish I could see what that guy. Yeah. Let's kill 5 guys tonight. Cherry cola while we blast a savage drive-by. Let's kill 10 guys tonight.
Does it keep happening?
First date, let's pump the brakes on the murders.
Let's kill 5 guys tonight.
I'll take you back to your place and we'll craft a perfect alibi. Man, we had fun tonight. We're young and alive. And you can call me anytime.
Yeah. Hitting that note.
Good first date. Want to do it again next week? No? Oh, all right.
69D.
It's my favorite Ninja Sex Party song of all time. Out of all of them. So
I used to like a this old ass song. Laser Dinosaur Party. That was my
Yeah.
shit.
listen, man, Dan Avidan is the future.
He deserves all the success he gets.
Well, that's all we got for you guys. Hopefully DMCA doesn't hit us too hard with that.
I know, right?
Maybe I'll download the video and put it at the bottom while we're reacting to it, because technically, since we're reacting to it, it's transformative content.
All right. Well, let's see what they have to say about that.
In theory,
Knowing our
there's
luck.
a lot of YouTubers that do that. They're like, let's react to the new music video of this
True,
band.
true.
And it's transformative, which means that it's not against DMCA.
Don't take us to jail.
Please, Dan. Unless you want to. And we'll
Don't-
steal some cars tonight.
Don't kill me though. I don't want to be one of those 5 guys.
One of the 5.
5 guys.
One of
only.
the 5 guys is the podcast title, and you
One
have to
of
wait
the-
till the very end to figure out why.
Why did they call it this?
There it is.
I'm an hour and a half in.
All right. We'll see you guys next time for the next Patreon podcast for this month, and updates to come, obviously, for the top tier.
Obviously.
For you top tier motherfuckers. And hopefully we'll do a live podcast soon for you guys. We might be doing it live in general. We were discussing that.
I think the podcast recordings are going to just be always streamed.
Yeah.
The
we might
difference
start doing that.
would be, I think it's still fun to react to chat and would add another element to the show.
Yeah.
People just don't come on the show unless it's the Patreon.
Yeah, that would make sense. Plus, it's easier to make clips on TikTok and Twitch. We can both do that as opposed to like having to download the whole episode and cut it up in
Yeah.
Premiere and shit.
Right.
Since it's on Twitch, like you could go in on like work hours for like 5 minutes and be like, "That's a funny clip,"
And just
Twitch
take
clip,
it,
and then
yeah.
just send me the link, and
Which
I'm
is
like,
way easier
"Gotcha."
now.
So we're probably gonna do that, but more updates to come.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go play or figure out what to play.
Figure out
game.
something.
And yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Good fucking episode.
How long was that?